This video is sponsored by Card Trader, a global marketplace where you can buy and sell TCG cards like the Pokemon trading card game. Please use my code POPNIGHT24 at checkout where you can get 5% off your first purchase. A link will be in the description below. Thank you again to Card Trader for sponsoring this video. Hey guys, in today's video, I'll be showcasing Team Rocket's MUK from the Destined Rivals expansion set. Team Rocket's MUK is one of the strongest Pokemon in the game right now. Don't believe me? I'll show you. Well, it has two awesome attacks. The first one is Gooped Up. For 1 dark and 1 colorless energy, it deals 40 damage, but then your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. And during your opponent's next turn, that Pokemon cannot retreat. While this attack may seem weak, it's actually super strong. This attack will basically trap your opponent's active Pokemon, and because of the confusion, if they try to attack, they have to flip coin, and if it stales, the attack fails, and instead, their Pokemon will do 30 damage to itself. This attack is so good at stalling a few turns and dealing chip damage to your opponent's Pokemon until you're finally ready to deal the knockout blow. And you can easily pop this attack with Team Rocket's energy. Its second attack is Hazardous Venom. For 2 dark and 1 colorless energy, this attack does 100 damage for each special conditions affecting your opponent's active Pokemon. At most, you can inflict no more than 3 special conditions to your opponent's active Pokemon at the same time. But if you can apply 3 special conditions, this attack can deal up to 300 damage, and not to mention the poison and burn that will also damage your opponent's Pokemon during Pokemon Checkup. And I did add 1 copy of Reversal Energy, which could count as 3 energies of every type to your evolved non-rule box Pokemon as long as you're behind on prizes. For single energy attachment, you can fully energize its second attack. What makes this deck fun to play too is because of MUK's pre-evolution, Team Rocket's Grimer. More for its attack, Corrosive Sludge. For 1 dark and 1 colorless energy, at the end of your opponent's next turn, discard the defending Pokemon and all attached cards. While you do have to wait it out until the end of your opponent's next turn, this can force your opponent to expend their resources or even discard energies just to retreat their Pokemon. So it acts as a really powerful disruption. And if they can't retreat, that Pokemon will just get discarded. This attack does not count as a knockout, so you will not get any prizes. But if you use it wisely, it can definitely help turn the tides in your favor. But going back to increasing Team Rocket's MUK's attack, between Asleep, Confused, and Paralyzed, we can apply the Confused special condition by using MUK's first attack. And to apply the Poison and Burn condition, first we'll be using Brute Bonnet with the Toxic Powder ability. As long as it has the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule attached to it, you can poison both active Pokemon. And secondly, we'll be using Volcanion EX with the Scalding Steam ability. While this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon burnt. Although Volcanion EX has 3 retreat cost, we have a few ways we can switch it back and forth from the active spot. One way we can easily retreat our Pokemon is with the help of Latias EX with the Skyliner ability, which will give all your basic Pokemon with no retreat cost. We also have a full set of Switch, and 2 copies of Surfer, which lets you switch one of your bench Pokemon to your active spot, while also letting you draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. And finally, 2 copies of Jet Energies. If you attach this energy card to one of your bench Pokemon, you have to switch it to the active spot. As for the rest of my Pokemon, I have a copy of Badoo for that early game item lock. With its Itchy Pollen attack, you can deal 10 damage, but you'll also prevent your opponent from using any item cards during their turn. And then I also have a copy of Munkidori with the Adrenabrain ability. As long as you have a dark energy attached to this Pokemon, you may transfer up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon and move it to one of your opponent's Pokemon. You can actually poison your own active Pokemon with Brute Bonnet, and you can just transfer those damage to your opponent's Pokemon with Munkidori. And I also have Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX. This has the Cornerstone Stance ability, which prevents damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon with an ability on it. This is a great way for stalling a turn or 2 while you set up your board. As for the other cards worth noting, for my spec card, I have Precious Trolley. You search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. And finally, for my stadiums, first I have 2 copies of Jamming Tower. This turns off the effects of all tool cards in play. I have this just in case we face off against any builds that uses Ancient Booster Energy Capsule because it prevents special conditions. And finally, I have 2 copies of Team Rocket's Watchtower. This will turn off the abilities of all colorless Pokemon in play. This is a great disruption against certain matchups that utilize colorless support Pokemon. And I also have 4 stadium totals in this build just in case I do go against Festival Grounds users, which also prevents special conditions, but this is a rare occasion. Winning with Team Rocket's MUK does require a little bit of patience and good RNG, but since this deck does have the potential to deal 300 plus damage, and not to mention the many disruption and special conditions in your arsenal, for me personally, I would rate this as one of the best and most fun decks in the format right now. You will have a hard time against builds that utilize a lot of switches though, and I would probably just add an energy search or something. Besides that, this deck is a lot of fun to play. But what do you guys think of this deck? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Team Rocket's MUK. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. Alright, on to our first match. I will be starting this one with Team Rocket's Grimer in the active spot. We have our second one on our bench, and my opponent will be going first in this matchup. Okay, they're gonna start with Torchic. I mean, there is that new Blaziken from Destined Rivals, but most probably this is gonna be Blaziken EX, the one that can accelerate an energy from the discard pile. And I think it is, because they also have Dreepy, which means they also have Dragapult EX in their build. So now it's our turn. We got Fezandipity EX. Since we have Surfer, I'm just gonna use up as much cards as I can so we can draw more cards. So I'll attach Jet Energy, use Switch, then we can use Surfer. That way we can draw 3 cards. We got Cornerstone Ogerpon and Latias. I think I will put Latias EX in play, but hold off on Ogerpon. Anyways, we still need space for Brute Bonnet and Volcanion EX. But for now, my opponent will evolve into 2 Combuskins. And they will pass. Okay, I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and use our Iono. We got another Grimer. And try and retreat. But let me attach Jet Energy. And then I'll just retreat to the other Grimer. And I'm just gonna pass. Anyways, we have to wait it out. Just keep in mind that if you put any effects of attacks or special conditions, once your opponent evolves that Pokemon, all the effects or special conditions will just disappear. So you do have to wait it out until your opponent is fully evolved before you can start attacking. Now they have Dracloak in play. They'll use the Recon Directive to draw into more cards. I guess that's one other strategy that your opponent can use against Team Rocket's MUK is hold off on evolving their Pokemon. That way you can't trap them. Because if you trap them, they could just evolve their Pokemon and remove the special conditions. So my opponent will use Ultra Ball. So they have access to Blaziken EX now here. There it is. And they can just evolve their active. Alright. Oh, okay, they're also using the Blaziken from Destined Rivals. Nice. They're gonna use Seething Spirit to accelerate an energy from the discard pile. And they will use Smolder Salt Attack, dealing 200 damage to knock out our Grimer. So let's see if we can evolve here into our MUK and actually start disrupting our opponent. I'll use their Artisan to get Brute Bonnet before we can replace it with Jamming Tower. We already have Ancient Booster Energy Capsule anyways. Use Flip the Script. And then I'm gonna use Iono. Maybe we can draw into our MUK. Okay, an Ultra Ball is okay with me. Let's go ahead and discard these 2. Let's get our Team Rocket's MUK. We can attach the Team Rocket's Energy, and before we evolve, I can poison both active with Toxic Powder. That way, once we evolve, the special condition will go away for our Pokemon. So I'm just gonna use Gooped Up. Deal 40 damage to their Blaziken EX. And now it's confused and they cannot retreat. And that's part of the strategy for this build, guys. Basically, you want your opponent, even if they have a lot of resources, you want them to expend it as much as possible. And once they run out of those switching cards, you can just trap their Pokemon in the active spot while you continue to deal damage. And while they're confused, if they try to attack, they'll have to flip a coin to successfully attack. But if they get Tails, they'll just damage their own Pokemon for 30 damage. But they have Arven, they could have a switch here. Okay, they have Earthen Vessel and TM Evolution. I don't know, maybe they don't use any switch in this deck. They're just gonna get more energies with Earthen Vessel. They will evolve into Dragapult EX. Attach a Psychic Energy. So they're slowly building up their Dragapult. And they're just gonna pass. They didn't even attempt to attack. Okay, I'm okay with that. Let's attach the Team Rocket's energy on our second Grimer. Use Iono. And we have Counter Catcher. Well, PTCGL Live is having a glitch right now. Or it's not updated. Yeah, Hazardous Venom is only dealing 100 damage. I'm just gonna use Gooped Up. I'm just gonna lower this Blaziken EX's HP as much as possible. So, again, Hazardous Venom deals 100 damage for each special condition. But for some reason, PTCG Live is not working properly, so it doesn't recognize the Confusion as a special condition. So we're only hitting 100 damage with the Poison. But I'm just gonna work with it, see if we can still win this one. But normally, we would be hitting for 200 damage. But anyways, it's not within range yet. And they're gonna try to attack, but they failed! And look at this! They will receive 30 damage. And that poison is gonna continue to eat away at their health points. So now they're down to 170 HP. We are at that point where we can just easily knock out this Blaziken. But we got a Nest Ball, so we can set up our Volcanion EX. This time, we can add that special condition. Even though the game doesn't recognize the Confusion, we will add another special condition, so we're now hitting for 200 damage with our Team Rocket's MUK. And that should be enough to knock out this Blaziken. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's working! Hazardous Venom is dealing 300 damage. That's crazy. Yo! Alright. I will take that. I will take that. Nice. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So with 3 special conditions, maximum, Team Rocket's MUK can deal 300 damage. Not to mention the burn and poison. That's a total of 330 damage. So you're pretty much just knocking out majority of stage 2 Pokemon in the game. But that's also the reason why I have Jamming Tower, because if you go against Cynthia's Garchomp EX, that will turn off the tool card to add HP to their Pokemon, and you can still deal a knockout. So not too bad. Alright. So now my opponent pivots into their Fezandipiti EX. Let's see how well my opponent can set up here. They can start attacking with Dragapult EX, spread damage counters. But if they knock out MUK, they can spread 6 damage to our Grimer. We'll still live. We can evolve into another MUK. Okay, my opponent's just gonna pass. Interesting. Well, we can start trapping their Fezandipiti EX. Let's go ahead and poison, burn them with Volcanion EX. And I'm probably just going to finish off this Fezandipiti. We'll retreat. And we're going to use Hazardous Venom to deal 200 damage, plus poison and burn. And that will knock out Fezandipiti, getting us 2 more prizes. And we got boss orders. So even if they try to attack with Dragapult EX, I mean, they don't have any other 2 prizers. We'll probably just have to finish off this Dragapult. But like I said, even if they knock out MUK, we can just try and evolve into another Team Rocket's MUK from our Grimer. And then we're just going to poison, burn. Probably start with Gooped Up. That way we can also confuse their Dragapult. They'll try to attack, but if they fail, then we can hit for 300 damage the following turn. Anyways, that's the plan. But my opponent's not doing anything. Oh, they're just gonna give up. All right, good game. All right, let's move on to our second match. Once again, I'm gonna start this with Team Rocket's Grimer in the active. And we have Precious Trolley in our opening hand, so that's really, really good. I will be going first in this matchup. And my opponent's gonna start with Team Rocket's Mareep in their active. So this could be Team Rocket's Tyranitar combo, actually. We'll put Team Rocket's Watchtower into play, use Precious Trolley. I'm gonna set up Brute Bonnet, Volcanion EX, 2 other Grimers, and our Monkey Dory. Although I might need Latias EX to really retreat our Pokemon, but I'm just gonna go with these 5 for now. I'm gonna use Jet Energy to switch my Volcanion into the active. And we can start burning our opponent's Pokemon here with Scalding Steam, and I'm just gonna end my turn. And they flip tails for the burn, so they will retain it. So at the end of this turn, they'll receive 2 more damage. We can burn them again during our turn. We can take our first prize. And sure enough, there's the Team Rocket's Larvitar. Once they evolve that into Rocket's Tyranitar, if it's in the active spot, all of our basic Pokemon will receive 2 damage counters every Pokemon checkup. But hopefully, we can easily dispatch it. Okay, they're gonna use Team Rocket's Giovanni to switch out their Marie, removing the burn. And now with Larvitar, they have Team Rocket's Energy. They're gonna use TM Evolution to evolve into Team Rocket's Flaffy. Okay. The only thing is we can't really take any knockouts right now. I guess I can use Jet Energy to just keep burning my opponent's Pokemon with Volcanion EX. So I'll just do that, end my turn once again. And my opponent flipped heads, so the burn goes away. They have 3 cards in their hand. What's the probability that they'll be able to evolve into Tyranitar? With 3 cards. Okay, they're gonna use Mountain Munch. It deals 10 damage and it discards the top card of our deck. They actually discarded a Iono. That would have been helpful. So I'm just gonna use Scalding Steam, end my turn once again. I'm just gonna slowly knock out this Larvitar, but they keep flipping heads. So with 4 cards in their hand, they're gonna attack with Mountain Munch once again. They discard our Surfer. We got an Energy. I guess I can start energizing my Grimer, and I'll just continue to burn our opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, they flip tails this time, so at the end of their turn here, this Larvitar will be knocked out. But no, they have Jacques. That allows them to search their deck for 2 evolution Pokemon. They have Rare Candy. They will evolve into Team Rocket's Tyranitar. They'll attach Reversal Energy. Thankfully, it's not activated yet. And they will also evolve into Team Rocket's Ampharos. Now, they are dealing 2 damage counters to all of our basic Pokemon, and all of our Pokemon are basic. Man, that Sandstream ability is super strong. So I'm just gonna boss their Ampharos in their active. Let's go ahead and Scalding Steam first. And I'm just gonna end my turn. Okay, they will retain the burn. I need a Dark Energy for Monkey Dory. They have another Larvitar and they're just gonna pass. Alright, that's good. That is good. And they will retain the burn once again. Okay, we got an Arven. That's good. Let's go ahead and use this. I could get Ancient Booster Energy Capsule for sure for our Brute Bonnet and a switch. So we'll attach that, and then I can use Toxic Powder, use Switch into Grimer, and then I can use Corrosive Sludge, putting the effect on our opponent's Ampharos. So now at the end of their turn, they're just going to discard this Ampharos. So that's going to prevent them from dealing damage to us when we evolve. But they have a switch. Oh no! They will switch back to their Tyranitar and we're going to continue to receive damage counters. This is really, really bad. I guess I can use Ultra Ball. I can evolve into Team Rocket's MUK. Poison both active. We can evolve, remove that poison. And oh, we got 4 damage counters from Ampharos. Okay, this is really bad. I'm just gonna attack with Gooped Up. Trap this Tyranitar, but at the end of their turn here... oh man! We're gonna lose 2 of our Grimers. And slowly but surely, they're just gonna eat away at our other Pokemon. They're gonna use Iono. Thankfully, we get to draw into more cards, but we got MUK, but it's a little too late at the end of their turn here. All of our Grimers will just get knocked out. They have Precious Trolley. And they will set up another Larvitar. They've already evolved another into Pupitar, so they're 1 stage away from evolving into another Tyranitar. So even if we knock out their active, they're ready to evolve into another one. They also have MUEX to draw into more cards. They're confused, but they're successful. They will use Devolution to devolve our active, knocking it out. Oh man, and at the end of this turn, this is crazy. The Sandstream ability will take into effect. That will also take out both of our Grimers on our bench. Oh no. Oh no. Are we gonna win this? So they've already taken 3 prizes. That's insane. I'm gonna put Latias EX into play. That way we can easily retreat our Pokemon. Replace their stadium. Use Arven. I need to recover my Grimers back. But let me get Dark Energy for now. That way I can transfer the damage counters with Monkey Dory. Keep our Pokemon alive. And I'm just gonna target the Ampharos slowly until we can knock it out. I'm gonna burn their active as well. So it's just a matter of time before the special condition knocks out this Tyranitar. They will flip heads. They'll receive poison. And man, slowly but surely, every Pokemon checkup, that 2 damage counter is super strong. Crazy. This is crazy, guys. Just a matter of time. They're just gonna take all of their prizes. Thankfully, though, they don't have fighting energy to energize their Tyranitar. They can't attack with it. So they're just relying solely on its ability to deal damage to our Pokemon. So now they have 2 Tyranitars into play, but their active is about to get knocked out, at least. They're gonna use Ultra Ball. And looks like they ran out of Tyranitar. Okay. Perhaps the others are prized. And they're gonna pass. And there's the 2 damage counter spread. That's crazy. Okay. Okay, what are we gonna do? Let's go ahead and use Arven. Use Nest Ball. Or let's... I don't know what to do, guys. Let's go ahead and use our Adrena Brain first. We can... Let me go ahead and just put damage counters on the other Tyranitar for now. Because we can easily knock out their Ampharos, at least. So by transferring the damage, we're also healing. So that should keep our Monkey Dory alive for now. Scalding Steam their Tyranitar. And I'm just gonna end my turn. So that will finish off their Tyranitar, but the Sandstream also takes into effect. Okay, I thought it was gonna disappear once it's knocked out, but all of those things happen during Pokemon checkup, so I guess their Tyranitar's ability still takes into effect before it is knocked out. So at least at the end of their turn here, Monkey Dory will survive with 10 HP. And then how are we gonna win this? Okay, we'll receive 2 damage counters each. Scalding Steam Tyranitar once again. Poison it as well. And I'm probably just gonna retreat my Volcanion. I'll use Professor's Research. We're really desperate now. We got Night Stretcher, finally. We can get Grimer again, set it up, and then I'll use Jamming Tower. Oh, that actually knocked out our Brute Bonnets, because the Ancient Booster actually was giving it extra HP. Alright, that was a really bad move, I guess, but let me just take out their Ampharos. We'll get another prize for this. We got Boss's Order, so that's good. And I'm probably just gonna attack with Grimer, to be honest with you guys. I'll just retreat, and then I'm gonna use Corrosive Sludge. So they're down to 2 cards in their hand. Sandstream will take another Pokemon, knocking out our Monkey Dory. Oh man, this is really tough. They just need one more prize left. They can even attack with Tyranitar. They already have 3 energies attached to it. Since they've taken more prizes, the reversal energy is not taking into effect, so they can't really attack. They need 1 more energy. So they'll recover 1. And a few other Pokemon. You have TM Devolution, but we don't have any evolution Pokemon right now. Okay, Corrosive Sludge takes into effect, and it didn't damage us, but now with the new Tyranitar, that damages us. That's pretty annoying, guys. Well, man, this is such a hard matchup. Let me use Ultra Ball to get MUK. At least once we evolve, we won't get any more damage. I can try and boss their Fastendipity EX. And I'm just gonna use Gooped Up. So now we're dealing 40 damage. That should trap their Fastendipity EX. I just hope my opponent doesn't have a lot of switch in this deck. They have an Arven, okay. Yeah. But as long as Tyranitar is not in the active, I'm okay with this. That should buy us a few more turns here. But what I can try and do, since we need 4 more prizes to go. Okay, we got an Iono. I'm just gonna continue to use Gooped Up. What I'm gonna try and do actually is, if I can knock out this Fastendipity EX with a special condition, going into our turn, I think we should be able to win it. But it's gonna be a long shot. But we're gonna try. I'm gonna continue to use Gooped Up. And I'm probably gonna switch into Volcanion if it's necessary. That way, once we attack with Gooped Up one last time, the burn will finish it off at the end of their turn. And then maybe it'll knock it out. Maybe? And then we can just target their Mew EX to win the game. Okay, we got Counter Catcher. So they have 90 HP left. I can try and burn them. Right? 80? No, I'll use Gooped Up first. Use Gooped Up. We should be able to attack it one more time after this. Right? So it has 50 HP left. We can burn it for 20. They'll be left with 30, but once we stop using Gooped Up, we cannot, or they will be able to retreat their Pokemon. That's what I mean. Okay, they're gonna end their turn again. Okay, we have another Counter Catcher. Let me use Gooped Up for the last time. They should buy us some time though, I think. Even if we knock out their Fastendipity EX, that will get us our last prize. Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just Counter Catcher their Mew EX for now. I'm gonna use Iono. Okay, we have Super Rod, so we can actually recover our Pokemon here. See what we can recover. Use Super Rod, get Monkey Dory, an energy. And I think that's it. So what I'm gonna try and do is actually just finish off their Fecundipity. I think we got this, guys. Oh man, this is an epic comeback if we can pull it off. Okay, so our plan is to just keep attacking with our MUK for now. So we're just a few cards away from drawing into our Munkidori. We already have Dark Energy in our hand. So we're just gonna attack with Gooped Up, trap this MUEX in the active, and then next turn, we can just burn our opponent. Oh, there it is! We got Munkidori! Dude! Look at this, guys. I'm gonna attach the energy, use Adrena Brain, knock out their Fecundipity EX, and then we get 2 prizes for that. And guess what, guys? Wow! My opponent just needed 1 more prize, but we still got it. Gooped Up will just finish off this Mew EX, getting us our last 2 prizes to win us the game. That's an insane match there, guys. Wow. Alright, let's move on to our third match. Once again, I will be starting with Team Rocket's Grimer in the active. And no surprise there, we do have a 4-4 line of Team Rocket's MUK in this build. And I will be going first in this matchup. And my opponent will start with Iron Hands EX. Okay, we do have an Ultra Ball. Let me attach this energy first. I'm gonna discard these 2. And I could set up Brute Bonnet. Or actually, let me get Latias EX for now. That way I can just easily retreat Grimer. I'm just gonna end my turn. So with Arven, I could probably just get Precious Trolley next turn, fill up my bench. I can evolve into MUK and then go from there. But we'll see how my opponent sets up here. They discarded Armor Rouge. And they have Ethan's Ho-Oh EX, and this is that combo. So their main energy accelerator will be Ethan's Ho-Oh EX. With its ability, they can accelerate 2 fire energies to one of their Ethan's Pokemon, and then once they set up their Armor Rouge, they can transfer those fire energies to their active Pokemon. So they can easily just energize any of their attackers, even this Iron Hands EX. They can easily use its Amphiverumuch attack. For now though, they're gonna use Squawkabilly EX. Squawk and Seize allows them to draw 6 extra cards. They have Mew EX. They can actually use that to copy our attacks. But let's see what other attackers they have. They need 1 more space for their Armor Rouge. Okay, they have Ogerpon EX, Cornerstone. And they also have Wellspring, so they can deal multiple knockouts if they wanted to. So they'll set up their Charcadet, ending their turn. So now, what I'm going to do is just evolve into my Team Rocket's MUK. With Arven, I'm going to get Precious Trolley, along with Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, so we can get Brute Bonnet, Munkidori, another Grimer, and Volcanion EX. So now we have the Booster Energy Capsule. We can poison both active, and I'm just going to use Gooped Up to just deal 40 damage to their Iron Hands EX. And now it's trapped in the active. Unless they have a retreat or a switch card, they will not be able to retreat their Iron Hands EX. And that Luminous Energy is actually a very effective energy card to use in their deck because it counts as every energy, or it counts as 1 energy of every type. So they can still transfer it using Armor Rouge because it's still considered a fire type. So they'll fully energize their Iron Hands EX. They attempt to attack, but they failed. They'll just deal 30 damage to themselves. There it is, guys. That confusion is so annoying. So we're gonna continue with this. Oh, we're dealing 200 damage. It actually recognizes the confusion. So I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna use Hazardous Venom to attack, deal 200 damage to knock out their Iron Hands EX. That will get us our first 2 prizes, and that will also discard all of their energies. Now they don't have any energies to transfer with Armor Rouge. So that actually worked out for us. Because sometimes PTCG Live doesn't recognize the confusion as a special condition. So sometimes you're only attacking 100 damage with a poison or something like that. Or I should say you're attacking for 100 less damage because it doesn't recognize the confusion as a special condition. But for the most part, Team Rocket's MUK is actually a super strong and disruptive Pokemon. So don't underestimate this guy. It's super annoying and I like it. This Team Rocket's MUK is actually one of my favorite cards in Destined Rivals. One of the few, actually. They came out with so many strong Pokemon in this new set. Okay, they're gonna retreat. We didn't use Gooped Up, so we couldn't trap their Pokemon in the active. But they're just gonna attack with Squawkabilly EX because they wanted to energize their benched Pokemon with the fire energies. So I'm gonna recover my dark energy to attach to our Monkey Dory. I'm gonna poison both active. And with Arvid, I'm gonna get Switch. I'll switch to Volcanion EX. Use Scalding Steam so that it has 2 special conditions. And now, with Team Rocket's MUK, we can attack for 200 damage once again. But for now, I'm just gonna transfer these damage counters to... Let me put it on Fecidipity EX, because it's an easy target for us to knock out, actually. And I'm just gonna use Hazardous Venom once again to knock out their Squawkabilly EX, getting us 2 more prizes. That's insane. This Team Rocket's MUK is super awesome, guys. I highly recommend it. Super fun to play, very disruptive, but there is that chance that your opponent can just flip heads every time they try to attack, especially high HP Pokemon. Because they have a lot of HP to sacrifice, for the lack of a better word. You just keep hitting themselves and then until they finally get an attack in and knock out our Team Rocket's MUK. In those cases, most probably you just want to use your Team Rocket's Grimer, because if they end up just knocking out your Pokemon, might as well just discard their Pokemon at the end of their turn. So just balance your strategy between whether or not to use Grimer or your Team Rocket's MUK. So my opponent will try and attack with Ethan's Ho-Oh EX. They are hitting for 160, so they can knock out our MUK. And now they have Latias EX, but that's useless. We don't really care about Latias EX. We can just use Gooped Up, trap their Pokemon in the active. They still cannot retreat, even though their Pokemon has no retreat cost. So we just need 2 more prizes. They can use Shining Feathers to attack. They also heal up their Pokemon. And they will knock out our MUK. Alright, let me go ahead and pivot into Volcanion EX. That way we can burn their Ho-Oh EX. Put another Grimer into play. Poison both active. Burn their Pokemon. I'm gonna use Professor's Research. And then I can discard these 2. Get another Team Rocket's MUK. I can start to energize one of my Grimers at least. And I'm probably just gonna end my turn because I can't attack right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna end my turn. At least we can absorb a damage with Volcanion EX. Again, Ho-Oh EX is only dealing 160, so we can survive or tank a hit with Volcanion. And then we can fully energize our Grimer, evolve into MUK, and then just knock out their Ethan's Ho-Oh EX. Get our last 2 prizes to win the game. But they can retreat their Ho-Oh EX anytime they want, because we haven't used any attack to trap them. Let's see how this plays out. Armarouge is still in play. They can just send out any of their other attackers. But thankfully, Ogerpon is not gonna affect us that much because we don't have abilities on MUK. But they're gonna counter capture our Grimer in the active with the energy. So it may take a few more turns here, guys, before we can actually take our final knockout. Because if we don't have energies to power up our attacks, we really can't do anything. So we should still have 3 Team Rocket's energy in our deck. We just have to draw into them. Again, they're gonna take out our Grimer, healing up their Pokemon, so the poison and burn is actually very useless right now. But as long as it sticks, if we can evolve into MUK, get our Team Rocket's energy, we should be well on our way. Okay, we got an Arven. Let me go ahead and burn this guy. Use Arven. Yeah, we have 3 Team Rocket's energy, but we still need to draw into them. I'm gonna get Switch. Let me attach an energy to Grimer, just in case. Then we can switch it back out. I can poison both active first. Well, it's already poisoned, never mind. And I'll just retreat back to Volcanion. And yeah, I'll evolve into MUK. Why not? Either way, they'll just knock it out. If they knock it out, it's gonna be pointless, right? Because we have to set up another Grimer and eventually evolve into MUK, so it's fine. I just hope they don't have a boss orders or counter catcher to target our MUK again. But slowly but surely, we are dealing chip damage to their Ho-Oh EX. Oh, okay. So they have the A-Spec card. This is the energy that if you knock out Ho-Oh EX, we're gonna take 1 less prize for knocking it out. So they can still attack for another turn. If they knock out Volcanion EX and our Latias EX, they could still win this. Okay, they're gonna attack with Shining Feathers, dealing 160 to Volcanion. Alright. We got Pheasantipity EX. We need an energy, guys. I'm gonna use Adrena Brain. Put more damage to this Ho-Oh EX. And then I can put Pheasantipity EX into play. I guess I could sacrifice my Volcanion EX. Right? I don't know. Let's just go for Scalding Steam. I'm gonna retreat into Monkey-Dory. I'll sacrifice Monkey-Dory. It's not doing much because Ho-Oh EX is just healing up their Pokemon anyways. So might as well just sacrifice it. As long as they don't have boss orders again or counter catcher, I think we should be fine. And despite them having this special energy, we can just boss them. Oh, they're gonna use Iono. That will put us down to just 2 cards in our hand. And we got the wrong energy. It's the Jet energy. Man, okay. At least they already used up their Iono, which means they can't use boss orders. Just a matter of whether or not they have counter catcher. But I'm pretty sure they're just gonna target Volcanion EX because they need 4 more prizes. I don't think they can afford to just target MUK and then hope on being able to take 3 prizes after that. But they're gonna retreat their Ho-Oh EX, accelerate more energies. They're probably just gonna transfer energies to their Pheasantipity EX. And they're just gonna try and snipe our bench Pokemon. So they can take an easy knockout against our Volcanion EX. They'll take 2 prizes for that. But I just need a dark energy, man. Come on. Okay. So they're gonna go with that special energy still. And they will target our Volcanion EX. That's gonna get them 2 prizes. At least we can use Pheasantipity. Flip the script, right? So let's go ahead and use this. Oh, there it is. We got the Team Rocket's energy, finally. Let's go ahead and energize our MUK. I guess I can trap this Pheasantipity EX. This Legacy energy is just really annoying. Although I could just finish it off with Poison, because Legacy energy only works if you attack it with a regular damage. But if it is knocked out with Poison, we should still be able to take 2 prizes. So I'll poison both active, retreat into our Team Rocket's MUK. I will use Super Rod to get Grimer, Volcanion EX, and another Dark Energy. And I'm just gonna go with Gooped Up. So we're gonna continue with this strategy, trap their Fastendipity EX. While it is poisoned and confused, again, they'll have to flip a coin with the confusion. And they can't knock out any of our Pokemon just yet. They're gonna use Iono. We got another Team Rocket's energy. We have a switch. They will expand their bench using Area 0 Underdepths. So they have more options to put other Pokemon on their bench as their attacker. But what are they gonna do is the question. If we only have boss's orders, we can get around this Fastendipity EX and we'll be well on our way. They also have Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. It just needs 1 energy to attack for 260. So they can knock out any of our Pokemon at this point. Oh, my opponent is successful despite the confusion. They can deal 100 damage to one of our Pokemon. They're going to target MUK. Thankfully, it's still alive. We got a boss's orders. Hey, we got a boss orders. Okay, I can boss's orders their Ho-Oh EX. It already has 90 damage to it. We can poison it. We can transfer damage with Monkey Dory. Right? And we can just deal Hazardous Venom, 100 damage, and the poison will just knock it out. Here it is, guys. Finally, we knock out their Ho-Oh EX. We'll get our last 2 prizes, and that's gonna win us the game. All right, awesome. Good game. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.